of which the sun was the number one, and even to this day I suppose Irish people have this fixation with sunshine. Going back to the base, then Christianity came, and a lot of people, you know, what did Christianity bring? It brought the whole question of religion. It brought monasteries. Through the monasteries it brought a lot of poetry, towns, brewing, even mead. And one of the things that happened around that time was St. Patrick. Everybody knows St. Patrick, the patron saint of Ireland. Do you know what nationality he is?
He's not Irish.
No. He was kidnapped as a slave as a child in Wales, came to Ireland, worked in Ireland, worked around a monastery, ended up escaping back to Wales, and when he was back in Wales he then had this draw to come back to Ireland. Wow. And he came back to Ireland, and he was really one of the first people that actually came to Ireland and made such a big contribution into what being Irish is today. And that's what the show seems to do. And then the Vikings came in the about 800, and you know, and then 115 years after that they came and they made a settlement here in Waterford, and that's why Waterford is very much Ireland's oldest city. But the Celts at that time had they didn't have a chance against fighting against the Vikings, you know, the ironclad Vikings. No, they didn't have a chance. So they subdued the Irish. They took over. They settled here. But then what happened was they encountered an altogether more formidable foe, which was the Irish woman. Because they married local women, and as soon as they married local women, the local women then changed them. So over the next 150, 200 years, the Vikings became Viking Irish and became Viking Irish lords. They changed their religion. They became Christian instead of all the different gods. They changed their clothes. They changed their culture. And even the names. There's names that are Irish, are a derivative of Irish Gaelic, that are only recognised. So Doyle is an Irish Viking name. Right, it originates from the word of big stranger, Doyle, Gilmore, Cotter, Macaulay. They're very much all Viking names. The Vikings came to Ireland, but they became the Irish, you know. And literally 200 years later, the Irish lords were all Viking lords. They had intermarried, and they become more Irish than the Irish themselves, you know.
So what